Hi everyone and welcome to NameHero.com. In this video tutorial, I'm going to talk about making money with WordPress and cashing in on the work from home WordPress boom, so to speak. And I just want to mention about some of the opportunities that are present right now. So I just typed up this big blog post here, and you can check it out at namehero.com/startup. And if it's not here at the top when you watch this video, you can just search for cashing in on the WordPress work from home boom. And I just want to get into a little bit about web development and where it is now and where it's came from. So back in the late 90s, when I personally got started online, it was really a rarity to have a website. Unless you were a very large company or kind of like me, a little bit nerdy, you didn't have your own website. I mean, it just wasn't, the internet was kind of a new thing and it wasn't proven. People weren't sure what was going to happen really. But as the new millennium came and we had the dot-com boom with stocks soaring, companies going public, and a bunch of action, companies large, small, regardless of the size, were coming up with websites, and they were getting their URLs or their web addresses on their commercials and their billboards, on the radio. And I remember it just seemed like at the blink of an eye you started seeing trucks for home improvement stores, and they would have their web address on the back, and almost every product or service out there you started to find a web address on it. And nowadays in the well into the 2000s and 2017, you have to have a website. If your business, your company doesn't have a website, then you're probably not a very profitable company, or probably not a very large company at all, and you might not even be around. I mean, because that's the way of the future. Nowadays, if people research a product or service, they're going to get on their mobile phone, they're going to type in whatever they're looking for, they're going to ask their friends on Facebook, and people are going to give recommendations. People are going to link out to your website, they're going to link to your Facebook page, and it's very important that you have a website, and you not only have a website, but you have good reviews on your website. So that's all very important to commerce nowadays here in the world, not just in the United States. Now, this is important when we're talking about web development, because in the late 90s or early 2000s, to have a website developed, it was quite the chore, really. There was a couple of easy do-it-yourself web builders, but it was fairly complicated still. And to really get something of quality online, you had to go to a company or an organization, and you had to pay a bunch of money to get something nice. And this was no problem for the big companies. They would just hire it out, subcontract it or contract it out, and they would get a beautiful looking website. But the businesses that really don't need a website but needed a website, meaning that they don't do their business on their website, but they know they do need one for marketing purposes, and I reference this a lot on our blog at Name Hero, is the local butcher down the street. Are they going to sell more meat or more products because of their website? Yeah, probably not, but they might. But people are primarily going to use their website to see when their business hours are, when are they open, where's their address, where are they located, what products do they offer, and just kind of do some overall research, maybe even look at the reviews. But if they don't have a website, it's only going to hurt them. If they do have a website, it's only going to help them. So it's in their benefit to having a website. But then again, the local butcher down the street that's not a chain and not, which these are far and few between nowadays, which is sad, but still they've got to have a website, but they're not going to want to go spending $5,000 on a design. This is the type of business that needs a website and is perfect for the new age WordPress developers that are out there, because they have to have a website, they have to have something affordable, they have to have something that they can edit without having to deal with a big company. And so this is the shift we're seeing with the rise of WordPress being the most popular content management system out there. It's allowing a lot of individuals of all ages that can develop websites for these type of businesses. It no longer takes someone that's completely fluent in HTML and PHP to make a website. Amateurs can now do this. And in this blog post, I talk about how it's the perfect work from home opportunity, because it's something that you can there's very low cost to enter. I mean, WordPress is free, so if you have a computer, internet connection, and you can get web hosting for very affordable. That's what we specialize in. And you can begin to develop websites. It's a very low barrier to entry. I mean, all you have to do is get the customers, and they'll pay you. I think it's one of the biggest opportunities out there for work from home. Now, I've also, along with the rise of WordPress and the rise of technology, working from home is huge. I mean, it's tremendous. Just where I live in Kansas City, in a suburb of Kansas City, my neighbor across the street, neighbor next door, and my wife all work at home. And so that's the 3 houses in the closest proximity of where I live. And there's all this working from home going on. And this goes on around the United States, around the world. People are cashing in on these type of opportunities, and that's what this is. And I'm not trying to be hypey in this video. I'm just trying to talk about the boom that's going on because I see it. And I want to talk about the new age WordPress developer. One of our largest reseller hosting customers here at Name Hero is a 70-year-old lady. Would you believe that? If I didn't see it, I wouldn't believe it either. This lady actually came out of retirement and started developing these type of sites and developed a whole business around it. And she told me, and when I met her and talked to her, she said, what was I going to do? Just sit around and wait to die? No, I saw an opportunity, and I was retired for a couple of years and decided I'd just get back into this. And now I have this thriving business. And she's about to expand to start offering search engine optimization services. See, this is what we see in larger cities such as Kansas City. Companies around the metro here, they know it's everything to show up high in Google. Whether they have a carpet cleaning business or an HVAC repair business or any type of product or service they're offering around the KC metro area, they know that their consumers or customers are going to be researching and looking online. I mean, me personally, I don't have a yellow pages like I used to. I don't. When I do research, if I'm looking for someone to come out to the house to do work, I'm hopping on Google, typing in, looking at the reviews, and I make my decision. It takes about 5 or 10 minutes. But in that 5 or 10 minutes, those that show up high, those that have good-looking websites, those that have information on their site are the ones that are going to get my business. And I think that's what opens up the opportunity, is because there's no shortage of that. I also compare this to college kids. Kids nowadays are coming out of college only to realize that dream job that they had thought about and had really wanted is a lot further out of reach than they initially thought. And so not only is that dream job harder to get, they've got to settle for a job, because nowadays students are coming out of college with mortgage type payments and student loan debt, because lenders are just throwing money here and there at them, not telling them about they have to pay that back in a timely manner, and the interest will just eat them up. So to me, I don't really, it's a really big debate in my household, because I don't know if I really want my kids going to college and racking that type of debt up unless they're going to be a professional. I would rather my son go develop WordPress websites and develop his own company, because that's needed. So if you look at the average college student, and let's just say they get a job coming out of college, and this is a little bit on the high end, of $50,000 a year. Well, that's about $4,100 a month, or it's 41 customers paying you $100 a month. Which one looks better to you? I know me personally, I would rather get the 41 customers paying me $100 a month than getting that fancy college degree and having to pay back all that student loan debt. Because really, when you get out of college, if you're in $100,000 worth of debt, how many years making $50,000 is it going to take to pay that back? Obviously, you can't put every dollar towards it. So in my blog post, I talk about it's actually the perfect storm right now, because what we're seeing is in 2017, web development is so much different than it was in even 2007 because of smartphones and mobile devices. So in this post, I've got a chart here, and this is from StatCounter. So you can go to statcounter.com. And this small line is tablet usage, online usage. This bluish type line is desktop usage, and this green line is mobile internet usage. So you can see that since November of 2016, a little bit before then, a bit right around November 2016, that's when mobile devices, and this is worldwide data, surpassed desktops for internet consumption. So nowadays, most people are accessing the internet on their phone, or the majority are. And you can still see, there's obviously a lot of people that are accessing via their desktop, but a lot of people are accessing from their phone. That's because we keep it in our pockets. So if I'm sitting around the house and I ask my wife, hey wife, we have a leak in the house. Could you find us a plumber? What do you think she's going to do? Well, she pulls out her phone and starts Googling, and within 5-10 minutes, hey, Ryan, here's the plumber that's going to come out to our house. I've done the research, and here's who seems the best. So that's what we're seeing. It's a perfect storm, because these companies that had these fancy-pantsy websites developed and 10 years ago, well, they don't function right on mobile devices. They don't look good. So it's almost like recreating that boom we saw in the early 2000s. We're seeing it all over again because the sites have to be updated. And see, that's a frustrating thing is the business owner is like, well, I have to call my developer if I want a paragraph of text redone, and now I need the whole website to look good on a mobile device and I want to pay all this money. Whereas if you're developing for WordPress, most all the themes nowadays, it's common practice to be mobile compatible. If a theme's not, it's pretty much outdated, right? So with that said, I want to talk about the difference between the premium themes versus a WordPress professional. So up until now, I've talked about these individuals, entrepreneurs, college kids, retirees that are developing WordPress websites. And because it really doesn't take, you don't have to have a college degree to do this. You don't have to have any formal training. As long as you know how to get online, get on a computer, purchase a theme, install WordPress, your web host will do it. We do it here at Name Hero for you. You can develop a website. But that's still an amateur. There are professionals out there that develop WordPress websites professionally. So let me give you the difference, because I don't want to insult our professional WordPress developers, because God bless them, they do some fantastic work. But there's a different type of client for each developer. So the amateur WordPress developers, they're targeting these local businesses, these small businesses, these rural areas, to where companies and organizations are not going to pay a lot of money, especially charities out there, that don't have tons of money to spend on development. That's where your amateurs, your work from home people, your retirees can come in and cash in. But then you also have the professionals, because there is some fantastic WordPress professionals out there, but they're going to charge a lot more. I make an example in my post here that I also own a software company, and for our WordPress theme, we paid $5,000 for it. But it was developed, customized, specially just for our website. So it's a lot more expensive than just getting some type of template or theme and customized, by an amateur versus getting a professional to actually code it from scratch. So there's an absolute difference in there. And actually, a lot of the professional WordPress developers started out as amateur developers that they just acquired, or maybe they had some formal training to really learn the code and learn the ins and outs of WordPress. And so we see that both ends of the spectrum, especially here at Name Hero, working with all these resellers. We see both. We see the amateurs, we see the people that are just doing this on the side, making a couple extra $100, maybe an extra $1,000 or so a month. And then we have these professionals that are developing these full-on enterprise-based companies that are really knees deep up in development. So you really have to say, where do you have the opportunity? I'm asked all the time on social media, when I talk to friends, family, relatives, Ryan, you work online, you have for now going on almost 20 years. If you had to start over tomorrow, what would you do? Well, I'm telling you, right now, I'd want to start a business with low capital that I didn't have to spend a lot, especially if I was just getting started. I wouldn't have a lot of money to invest. So what I would do is I would start cold calling local businesses that have crappy websites and ask them if I could redo them. All you have to do is get on Google and start looking. And right now, if you gave me an hour, I could probably come up with about 100 websites, maybe 50, maybe 100. I think I'd come up with 100 if I really tried hard. But at least 50 to 100 websites that are poorly designed and not mobile formatted around the KC metro area. All I would have to do is start cold calling or showing up to those businesses and telling them, hey, I can redesign your site, I can help you out. But here's the deal. And what I would do is I would develop a series of packages, because people like a one-stop shop. People like being able to pay one price and having everything done. So I would come up with recurring packages that would start somewhere around $99 a month. And I would go all the way up to $900, maybe even $1,000, depending on the work involved. But I would include a basic WordPress website, mobile optimized, search engine optimization, monthly updates to the site, web hosting, social media management, and social media marketing. So I would throw all those in, and depending on how much the work entailed would be how much the package cost. My $99 a month package would be the very basic, just a basic WordPress website, search engine optimization, just the basic on-site stuff, maybe a couple link directory or a couple link building techniques, 1 or 2 monthly updates, maybe 30 minutes a month of updates, basic web hosting, as well as social media account creation, and maybe set up 1 or 2 ads, and then I would go on from there. So that's kind of how I would look at it, and then of course the price would increase and the more work I needed done. Now, if I'm looking at that, just for my bare minimum, it would take me 41 or 42 customers to make the median income for the average college graduate. If I got 80, I would double it. If If I got 100, I would be making about $100,000 a month, 6 figures a year. That would be my goal within 2 years of operating my business. That's where I would start over. That's exactly what I would do tomorrow if I had to start from fresh. I'm fairly confident too in this that I would probably have a pretty good paying clientele after a couple of months if I just worked my butt off. The only reason I would fail with that is if I didn't work hard. If I just expected the work and the orders to come in, then I would probably fail. But if I really went hard at it, I probably could make a lot of money. So at Name Hero, let us help you. Where are you in this? Are you wanting to cash in from this? Is this something you want to do? The purpose of this video, the purpose of this post is not to be hypey. It's just to talk about the opportunities that are out there because I see it. Not a day goes by that somewhere along the line, and maybe I'm not even directly asked, about people asking for extra ways to make money. Maybe it's to supplement some income from a lost job. Maybe it's a stay-at-home mother or father taking care of the kids during the day. I do that sometimes myself, stay-at-home dad. But it's always out there. There's always room for that. And so where do you fit in? At Name Hero, that's what we want to do. We want to help you. Primarily, we work with resellers at Name Hero, those that are reselling web hosting to their customers. And a lot of them are customers that are websites they've developed. So we have 3 main resources here that I want to invite you to, and these are all 100% free of charge. If you like them, only thing we ask is if you like it, share it. Share this on your Facebook, share it on your Twitter. I don't care if you sign up with us at not at Name Hero. I would like you to because I think we'd help your business, but I'm also not pressuring you to sign up. If you would, want to and work with us, you can. But if not, if you enjoy these resources and they help you, share them with your friends, share them with your family, share them with your coworkers that might help someone else out. But we have 3 main resources, and that's our free course, our ebook, and our WordPress guide to reselling. So we got these resources that I definitely want to present that to you. So that's kind of in a nutshell about cashing in on the WordPress opportunity right now. I mean, I see this only growing. I know there's services and stuff coming out. There's your Weebly's, there's your Grids, there's the different services that come out that have web builders and all that. But I think at the end of the day, right now, WordPress still has all the buzz and it still has all the hype, and it's just where a lot of growth is going on as these companies, as these businesses are actually adapting to be mobilely formatted, mobile friendly. And I really think that the wave of business over the next 10 years is companies, large and small, developing their site, being mobile optimized, being mobile friendly, so they can show up high in Google search results. So when the consumer is researching them, they're able to find them and retain that business. So if you have any questions on this, feel free to let us know. We hope to be your partner in business here at Name Hero, and we certainly do appreciate all your business, and we also certainly appreciate your feedback, so feel free to leave it. But thanks a bunch, everyone, for watching, and enjoy our services here at NameHero.com.